Okay, you guys, what is up? This is OJ Senpai here today to review One Piece, chapter 745. Now, listen, alright, this chapter was actually really damn good. Out of overall, the best, probably the best out of the big three. This week, of course. Let's get through the basics and then we'll actually dive into the chapter. When it comes to the basics, pacing, artwork, story progression, pacing, overall, great. Great, well, actually, yeah, great plus. It was great plus pacing. Of course, everything moved smoothly. We saw like a mini fight scene, some actual progression in the story, and so yeah, pacing, great plus. Artwork, really good. I'm gonna give it a senpai level artwork. It was actually really cool how we see the whole bird cage and like everyone's just caught within it, and like people are all like just scared of shit. You see the whole like Pika rising, like raising the castle up in the air and shit, and it's just insane. Like that was good. That was really good. So artwork, I'm gonna give a senpai. It was senpai level. It was senpai fucking level. I'm not kidding you. When it comes to when it comes to story progression, that will have a great plus because everything else is great. You know, like we now have the final battle, the climax of the arc. I should say now the climax of the arc, a bounty hunt, which should be interesting. And you know, now we actually get Luffy versus Dofflamingo fight, kinda. So I mean, well, it's basically the same thing with Luffy with every other villain. How you know Luffy goes up against the villain, but then he gets kicked back, and then he has to come back like one or two more times and then defeat him then. So yeah, I'm gonna give that a great plus. So yeah, great plus, senpai level, great plus. All right, yeah, great plus. So yeah, um, when it comes to that overall, yeah, great plus when it comes to the basics. Now, when it comes to the actual chapter, we see Sabo, Hack, and Koala meet up with Robin. Robin is basically like saying, like, oh, hello, hey, like they're all back. And then we see like Koala really hugging Robin really hard because you know they have some type of connection with each other apparently. What we know about it, we don't know. I mean, we don't know for sure. And I like this part because we see Robin introduce Usopp, and then like Usopp's just sitting there, it's like, man, like, yeah, I'm Usopp, what's up, man? Like he's all puffed up and shit. And of course, Robin's just like, yeah, it's my friend Usopp. Like, say who? Say hello, Usopp. Hi. I thought that was funny. I thought that was really damn funny. But basically, we see that, and then we have the whole thing with Treble and no Treble and Diamante. Apparently, they're guarding the factory, and apparently the factory itself is made out of Kawasaki and sea stone. So apparently that's the reason. And like, of course, that was so a devil fruit user cannot destroy it. You know, like by normal means. So obviously, you know, that's a problem for any devil fruit user. And I would have been perfect for Frankie, which is why I was really at the beginning when we saw Frankie attack the toy house. I was really weird because I was like, wait, shouldn't Frankie go ahead towards the factory? I mean, I didn't know that the factory made out of Kawasaki. I didn't know that, but Frankie should go ahead because you know he was the one who was focused on the main mission. But I guess you know technically he couldn't get through the whole thing, the hole that went into the factory, and so naturally, or the trading port. So naturally he couldn't access the factory by normal means. Plus he's fucked up right now. So that's where it comes to the whole factory. Now when it comes to Luffy versus Dofflamingo, it was a tease. Obviously, it was a tease. We all knew that because you know we saw Luffy go up against Dofflamingo. Doflamingo apparently using a puppet, like a clone, a puppet clone, something like that, against Luffy. And people are wondering, of course, obviously, does this mean that Luffy can get shitted on by Doflamingo? You can't say that either one side was actually going all out because number one, Luffy wasn't using armament hockey when he performed that Jet Gatling. He just punched him like, and he punched it, but it didn't really do a lot. I mean, like it probably did hurt for Doflamingo, but it didn't really do it didn't really do a lot like to really physically hurt him because he didn't have imbue hockey into him. And Doflamingo, it was kind of I won't say like it was unfair. It was unfair because he had a puppet clone, and then he had his normal self, and they were just fighting Luffy. It was like a 2-on-2. It was like a 2-on-1 fight basically. And so Luffy, I mean, he can barely stand against one Doflamingo, but two. I mean, I'm just saying. So I mean, the fight overall, it was nothing really important because obviously it's mainly just a little scat clash. Oda usually does that with all of Luffy's fights because he wants to prolong the arc so that way Luffy can fight him later and really have like a later date in the arc. So what I can say is that okay, yeah, that was okay. So basically, we see Dofflamingo. He immediately tells Pika, "Hey, Pika, get them the hell out of here." What I can say though, and I'll end off on this when it comes to Luffy. Dofflamingo did two things that I think are interesting. Number one, he used armament hockey on his arm and his feather coat. And under normal circumstances, if it wasn't a strong person, Dofflamingo would have not have used hockey. Like for example, when Kinemon went to go save Law, when Law before Law actually got captured, Dofflamingo didn't use hockey at all. He just kicked Kinemon and Kinemon felt like flipped over. Of course, that was just a kick, although Kinemon did take that, which I'm like, good job for Kinemon. But basically, Dofflamingo did use hockey, and when you use hockey, that means some real shit's about to go down. Obviously, because Dofflamingo acknowledges the strength of Luffy, acknowledges the strength of Sanji, and probably acknowledges the strength of Zoro. Number two is that immediately afterwards, instead of fighting Luffy head on, he says, Pika, get them the hell out of there. And of course, Pika throws him out of the castle. They are survived, of course, because of Luffy. And that probably means that Doflamingo is somewhat scared of Luffy. Somewhat scared. Because when you think about it, Luffy not only took a hockey punch from Doflamingo, but got slashed at the back and then got punched to the side. And mind you, Sanji was somewhat injured when it came to the whole Virgo clash type of thing, but Sanji would have gotten at least seriously fucked up, if not killed, if Law had not come to save him when they were around Dressrosa in the sea. Sanji probably would have gotten at least extremely fucked up. So for Luffy to actually take that, and for Doflamingo to pull out armor hockey to just block Luffy's punches alone, because Luffy didn't use hockey in that clash, it kind of shows you that maybe Doflamingo really is scared of Luffy's potential to the point where he says, you know what, Luffy might actually be a real threat. I gotta get him out of here, him and his friends, because if Luffy is not alone, that might be a problem for me. So he gets them out, and Luffy, of course, he was just doing it so he can save Kairos. Kairos was about to get beheaded like a motherfucker. He was like, like Luffy put it, like Luffy blitzed, put him to the ground, make sure he was okay, and then go. I thought that was epic. Jet got me. I was like, yeah, go in, Luffy. I thought that was badass, and Luffy just being Luffy, and basically all of the law rescuers or law rescue team, they're outside of the castle now. And Pika, he picks up the castle and like uses his stone abilities, and that's where she gets crazy because he activates his bird cage, and Law notices this. Now, apparently, his bird cage. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry, my bad. Apparently, Law's bird cage. Not Law's bird cage. Doflamingo's bird cage can intercept Den Mushi calls. And apparently, because that's the case, because when we see the Marines and Vice Admiral Bastille, we see them. One of the Marines is like, "Yo, Vice Admiral, I can't contact the Navy. I can't contact headquarters. What's going on?" So it's possible that the birdcage may not only subdue the entire island, but it also may disrupt the calls from anyone outside of the country. So that I think is actually really cool because it shows like the hacksness of Doflamingo. And we see Fujitora. Listen, bro, I'm gonna get to Fujitora in a second. Let me finish the last part. When it comes to the end of the chapter, Doflamingo is pulling a really high risk gamble, and I commend him, but at the same time, I kind of feel sorry for him because he basically tells the rest of the citizens, "Look, I could have actually ruled you guys with the iron fist and be like a completely cruel king, but let me do this for you guys. I'm in the castle. I'm not gonna move. I'm not gonna run. I'm not gonna hide. I give you guys the challenge to come and fight me and take me down. If you manage to defeat me, then it's game over for me. You guys get the island and I leave. However, there's a second option. You guys can also gain a reward if you kill all these people that are on this list I'm about to give you. And if you do this, there'll be a high bounty reward thing for you guys." And so it's obviously Dofflamingo, him being fucked up and always thinking, humanity should be like at war all times, sadisticness. And what's in my water? And you get me. So basically, it shows like Dofflamingo's like sick twists, like sick ideas when it comes to humanity, and of course, the people that are obviously on the list are obviously Luffy, Violet, Law, Kairos, King Riku, all these dudes. They're all on there, obviously. Now, let me get to Fujitora, because this is where Fujitora and Sabo and Luffy, because of course Luffy's in there too. The reason why I say this is a high gamble is because when you take a look at who's on the island, it's bad. Because Doflamingo is willing to kill anyone on the island just to clear up his name and make him look like as if he's not that bad of a king. So when you see who's on the island, he acknowledged Luffy's strength by using Haki. He acknowledged Luffy's strength. So he already knows that Luffy has the potential to probably beat him if he goes all out. When we see Sabo, Sabo can take on Jesus Burgess with ease. Diamante with ease. And he could do all of this before he had the Mary no Me. Forget the Mary no Me before. He had it afterwards. So he could do it before he even ate the damn fruit. Fujitora can summon meteors. I mean, now Fujitora might not be able to because the birdcage is up. And we all know Dofflamingo's strengths are strong enough to cut through those things. Like we saw at Green Bit where he cut through them like shing, 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 shing. And of course, we see in this chapter, he was able to cut through like one huge brick building with just a leg kick. So apparently, he has strings on his legs as well. But so I mean, Dofflamingo's strength is strong, but that doesn't mean that Fujitora is completely weak without his meteors. He's a swordsman. He can pull his own in any kind of fight. And then you have Jesus Burgess, and then you have Don Chinjao. You have all these dudes. So I guess who texted me? I'll get that later. I guess in a sense, well, actually, I don't guess. I know for a fact that Dofflamingo is taking a really big gamble to the point where I think that that he might be screwed. If not Luffy defeating him, Sabo or Fujitora or well, Jesus Burgess, I don't think so because I don't think that he's going to kill. Like Dofflamingo wants Fujitora killed. Dofflamingo wants Jesus Burgess killed. But those are the threats on the island, the major threats. Luffy, Sabo, Fujitora, and Jesus. You want to count Jesus Burgess, fine. Some people say maybe CP0. CP0 is on Dofflamingo's side, at least for now. So, by the way, where the fuck are they? Have they already left? Again, we don't really know. But it's a really high gamble. Obviously, will the civilians agree with Dofflamingo on this? I doubt it, because I mean, when you're that bad of a king to where you erase people's memories and fuck up people's lives, I don't necessarily think that they'll just follow you, even if it means that they may or may not gain the reward. But you obviously know that they're not, because Dofflamingo doesn't care. He'll kill everybody. We already know that he'll kill everybody. He's just doing this as a ruse. So, anyways, the chapter rating, I'm gonna give it a senpai level. It's gonna be senpai level. Really good chapter. Amazing chapter. Phenomenal chapter. So, a rating of senpai. Yeah, so like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. I'm OG Senpai, and I'm out. Peace, guys.